It's Saturday today and it was so beautiful in the morning. It was snowing and when I woke up it was so beautiful, but it is too warm, so now all the snow is gone and I am actually going to do some Christmas shopping, and I wanted to visit some Christmas markets and I will take you with me. I better go now because it's already almost 3 p.m. It's going to be dark in about an hour, so hopefully I will get some beautiful pictures of Christmas markets and do the Christmas shopping that I need to do. I was at a Secret Santa party yesterday and it was really nice. I don't usually go out that much anymore at all, so I went to bed at like 2 p.m. It was kind of late for me because I usually go like before midnight. So today I'm a little bit sleepy, a little bit tired, and I'm just chilling in my house, so I decided to film a really chill Christmas themed video because a lot of you guys requested it. So let's go see some Christmas markets and yeah. And I'm back. It was very cold, but very beautiful. And to give this video some sort of content and, you know, meaning, I decided to answer some of the questions that you guys ask me on a regular basis. So there are some questions that I get asked a lot, and I decided to do sort of a Q&A with those questions because maybe it is interesting to someone. And honestly, I do enjoy watching this kind of videos from other people, so why don't I just answer some of your questions? I divided them into 3 categories. One about mental health, 1 personal questions, and 1 questions about my studies and work. So let's start with mental health. First of all, I want to thank you guys because you are so awesome and kind and understanding, and I rarely get any negativity here, and I think that it's really awesome. And I just wanted to really take a moment to say thank you for being so understanding and polite and kind, and just you are amazing and I really love you. By the way, if you want me to answer some other questions or some different ones, definitely feel free to comment down below, and you can contact me on any social media. I have all of them linked after each and every one of my videos and also on my channel. So let's go with the mental health questions. First of all, I think that so many people who come to my channel are either partners or ex-partners of people who suffered with borderline disorder, and they ask me for advice or kind of just, you know, tell me their stories about how their relationship went. What I think is really amazing is how they are so non-judgmental, and like 95% of the people that comment or ask me something are coming from real place of kindness, and they don't like hate on their partners from before or like their current partners, because they understand how much they are suffering and they sincerely want to help. And I think that it's just so awesome, and I really salute you guys for this. So the questions that I usually ask is how to help a person who is suffering with borderline, or how to survive a breakup with that person. I have a video about having a partner who's struggling with mental health and probably specifically borderline. I also have just some relationship advice videos. I will link them all down below and somewhere around here. I also think that it is very important to have a good relationship in your life, no matter if it's a romantic relationship or relationship with friends. Relationships are what ultimately make us wealthy and happy. So I think that it is one of the most important things in life, but still I think that most important thing in life is your relationship with yourself. So until you feel that you are missing someone from your life, until you don't feel complete, I don't think that it is possible to be absolutely happy or be happy in a relationship, because when you start a relationship from a place of lack and you are trying to fulfill your desires by using the other person, or you're using another person to kind of fill the emptiness that you feel inside, or you want to feel better about yourself because the other person compliments you or makes you feel better about yourself, I don't think that it's going to work very well, because in general you have to already be kind of whole and you have to be happy on your own in order to be absolutely happy in a relationship. On one hand, it is possible that two people meet at the point of their lives when they are not ideal and they are struggling with something, and then they grow and heal together. But in my experience, usually what happens is, if two people come together and one or both of them have some kind of issues or like self-esteem issues or problems, and then they split, they feel even worse after that. Or if one person is actively trying to do something about their situation and the other one is not, then they split anyway, because they just kind of are on different levels now and they don't really match together anymore. So I think that the most important thing is your relationship with yourself. You have to be absolutely happy and aware and just healthy on your own in order to be healthy in a relationship. And if you are already in a relationship that is not ideal, or you're struggling or your partner is struggling, then communication is key. You have to be really open and honest about what you're going through, because a lot of conflict comes out of not sharing your true thoughts and feelings, and kind of putting your thoughts in the other person's head and treating the other person like you think they want to be treated and not like they really want to be treated, because you probably see things from your own perspective and you don't really know what the other person thinks or wants. So yeah, communication, self-love, self-esteem, and communication again. Another question that I get about mental health a lot is how to start your recovery. Like, what should you start with? What should be your first step? And I would say that already admitting that you have a problem is the most important step that you can make, because when you realize that something is wrong and you actively take steps to fix it, you are already halfway there, because you will have enough motivation to do stuff and you will have enough motivation to carry on with your healing and recovery. And I think that it's already awesome if you are thinking about like doing something about it. I always think that it's worth seeing a specialist, because there is so much stigma around mental health. I used to think the exact same way. I would never go to a psychiatrist if I didn't like lose my ability to function as a human being, an adult. I would never go to a therapist or a psychiatrist or whatever. So don't repeat my mistakes. If you feel like you could benefit from therapy, you should definitely go. Don't believe everything that you see on the internet, because there are a lot of mean people. There are a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm just sharing my experiences, so don't take my words for granted. There are specialists who are trained to fix the problems that you are struggling with, but there are specialists who are trained to listen to you and change your thought patterns, change your perceptions of the world to make you a happier and healthier person. There are people who are trained to prescribe you medication if you need it. Another advice: never self-medicate, because this is just what you never should do. And yeah, I mean, if you are motivated and if you really want to recover from a mental health issue or whatever it is, you will get there no matter what, because if a person looks for help, he will find help. I'm pretty sure about that. So the more personal questions. I am 24 years old. A lot of people ask about that. I was born and raised mostly in Russia, around Moscow. I studied in Moscow for 5 years, and then I moved abroad to Germany, and then last year I was moving around a lot. I lived in Russia and the United States and in Germany, and I moved around a lot throughout my entire life. This is why I don't really feel like I belong to one place, but still, well, my parents always had a home in one particular town. This is my home. Like, my parents' home is my most stable home that I have, and it's in Russia. My ancestry is Russian and Spanish, and I speak Russian and English. I speak a little bit of Spanish, never lived in Spain for too long, and I speak a little bit of German because I live in Germany, but honestly, my German sucks. And I really want to learn it better, but usually I just really have no time to do that. And something that I find really interesting is that a lot of people ask me about my PhD, about my studies and what I do. So I study chemistry. I studied chemistry for my master's. Now I'm doing a PhD in physical chemistry. It has to do with upconverting nanoparticles and their applications in biochemistry. It is a very interesting topic, and I really enjoy doing it. I spend most of my time either in the lab or doing some measurements in another lab, and I also read a lot of scientific papers, and I write sometimes my own papers. Sometimes we go to conferences. What I like about it is that it allows you to train your brain, but it's not exactly studying. Like, I cannot really imagine now going to the university all over again, because for me it was such a stressful period, and I really love to learn. Like, I learn new stuff every single day, and I think that if we don't learn, then we regress. But I cannot imagine the stress and the exams and everything, because I just think that it's too much. But when you do a PhD, it's kind of like a job, but you also work really hard with your brain, and it's very important to me because I tried a normal 9-to-5 job this year, couldn't do it because it was just too boring. I think that definitely a lot of people are better off doing a 9-to-5 job, and a lot of people do enjoy it, a lot of people are good at it. I just become really bored. So yeah, this is why I'm doing it. Actually, I never was a big fan of chemistry. I was never really interested in chemistry so much. When I was in school, I loved languages and literature, and I loved psychology. I wanted to be a psychologist for the most part of my life, and you can probably tell because of my YouTube channel, and the topics that I usually discuss are somehow related to psychology. Not only because I have struggled with it myself, but also because it's just something that really fascinates me. Then somehow, after a discussion with my parents, they convinced me that I have to follow a more kind of fundamental science, because it will give me more opportunities to find a job later. And I think that they are right in a sense, and I do not regret studying chemistry in the end. It's still very interesting, and I became kind of good at it, although I didn't feel like I was good enough in the beginning. But I don't know if I would choose differently. Probably I would if I could go back in time now, but I still do not regret the choices that I've made, because they took me where I am now, and I think that it's the most important thing. And the last question that I want to answer is, some people ask me about how I combine science and sort of metaphysical or more traditional medicine and stuff like that. I made a video about crystals and about the Chinese holistic face mapping thing, and a lot of other videos where I talk about the law of attraction and the metaphysics. And a lot of people kind of are wondering how it connects in my brain with me being a scientist and me believing in all this kind of stuff. I want to say that I think that people who believe in science, and I really think that science is just in another belief system, because honestly, we really do not know so much about the world, and what we are doing with science is basically just taking the data that we observe, like the experimental data and the phenomena that happens around us, and we try to fit it to a model that describes it in the best possible way. But there is actually a lot of ways to describe a single event, and they will be absolutely identical in the way of predicting the thing. And if there is more than one way to describe something, then possibly both or like all of those ways are not really true. And as for the metaphysics kind of traditional things that I talk about, I think that people who collected their wisdom for so long were up to something. They kind of put all of the knowledge and all of their experiences together to create this system of, you know, medicine and energy. And I think that if one thing supports another thing, then probably it kind of is true, or at least it's worthy believing in it. But I personally just stick to the things that make sense to me, that are kind of supporting my own experience, that are supporting my knowledge, and that really are logical to me. I do not blindly believe in stuff, so I always need proof for something, or at least a good explanation that would make sense to me. Sometimes I do have wishful thinking, I think that everybody does, but the more I live, the more I kind of understand that we have to double question and triple question everything, and that we really don't have to take anything for granted in terms of knowledge, and just we don't have to just trust one theory or, I don't know, like one system of thinking, because most likely what we know now is very far from the reality, because there were times when people thought that Earth was flat, and the people who thought otherwise were just burned. And I think that it will happen over and over again, that we find out more about the universe, and the things that we believe to be true now will be found to be mistakes. So on this note, I will leave you now. I wish you a very, very nice week ahead of you, and thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you want me to talk about something specific, please let me know in the comments. I'm really, really excited to hear from you all the time. And yeah, be nice humans. See you in the next video. Goodbye.